This offseason during the draft, the Philadelphia Eagles had a little bit of drama. Tom Donahoe was not very pleased with the pick of Milton Williams. So I did a little bit of digging and I wanted to see who it is he wanted, and it was Alim McNeil. Alim McNeil ended up getting drafted by the Detroit Lions, and the question started burning in my head. Was Tom right?
Hey, we did it, man. Fist it. Fist it. Fist it. Hey, bro. Fist it. Fist it. Fist it. Thomas.
Stay over there, Alex. Stay over there. Whatever.
What's wrong?
Because I don't want him. I do not want him. I do not want. Get on my face,
You gotta
Alex.
fist it.
Get on my face.
What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco, and it is Philly the podcast, man. So today, like I said, I want to talk about Alim McNeil versus Milton Williams. We are now 5 games in, both players kind of showing who they are in the NFL. Obviously, there's still a lot to learn about these guys, but I just kind of wanted to dive into their numbers so far and see if maybe Tom had a point here. Now, before we do get into this, be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe, join the family, man. We are on the road to 3K. We would love for you guys to join the ride. But let's get into these numbers, huh? So quickly, I want to go over Milton Williams. Obviously, he's home, so we know what he is. I was listening to Hollis Thomas on Seth Joyner's show yesterday. It was very funny. Hollis Thomas is. He's the man, bro. Hollis Thomas is the absolute man. But he was talking about Milton Williams and how he's so stagnant on defense. He has one role, and that is it. We were fed a lot of AD Junior, lies and all this about his athleticism, and he can move to the outside, and he can do this, that, and the third, and we just haven't seen it yet. Now, this could be because of the coaches just not wanting to open it up too much for him. This could be because the guys in front of him are just that much better. But we've seen Brandon Graham go down, but we have not seen Milton Williams' numbers on the outside go up, and that's what we thought he would bring us. But let's look at the numbers real quick. Milton Williams, 8 tackles on 149 snaps. That's good for 42% of the team's defensive snaps. He also was on special teams 13% of the time, and he has 1 start under his belt. He's played all 5 games, but he has 1 start under his belt. Nothing crazy, but for a 3rd round pick, I mean, listen. I'm not gonna sit here and be, for a 3rd round pick, you hope to get a little bit more, especially when you start looking at Alim McNeil. Alim McNeil was drafted right after him by the Detroit Lions, was who Tom Donahoe wanted. This is the guy that he wanted at that pick, and so far you're kind of seeing why. Reading about this guy, reading about the reports out of his camp, and kind of just hearing what Detroit fans are saying. It's crazy because realistically, they're calling him twinkle toes. They're talking about how athletic, how nimble he is on his feet, especially for his size. And you look at the numbers, man, and I want to say Milton Williams has 0 pressures, 0 QB hurries if you don't count the preseason. He did have one on Cam Newton in the preseason, but I guess that doesn't count now. But you look at Alim McNeil, excuse me. We're going to start with his snaps. He's been in there for less snaps, 112 snaps, which is good for 37% of their offense, or their defense, excuse me. And he has 12 tackles, 2 QB hurries. He's also played 23% of the special team snaps, and now he's on his 3rd start. So in 5 games, he's able to already kind of take over that starting spot. Now, the Detroit Lions aren't a great team, right? They're not a great team. But the thing that I see that maybe Tom Donahoe saw, and now that we're looking at this running game, Alim McNeil seems to be a run stuffer. He seems to be a guy that plugs up the holes in the middle, a big body with a little bit of athleticism that can move centers and guards around. So while I still feel it's very, very early, it's starting to trend towards the fact that maybe Tom Donahoe was right. Maybe you got to start listening to the guys that actually know football, Howie. Listen, Milton Williams still has so much time to become something, but I can't sit here and say that I'm excited about his future. I have not seen anything that's really made me go, wow, this kid got something. Realistically, and this run defense is terrible. We see when Fletcher Cox and Javon Hargrave come off the field, Milton Williams isn't really giving us anything. He's mostly a 5 technique, and he's not really making plays. I mean, look, 149 snaps is a lot of plays, especially when you're on a defense that is getting gashed by the run. you're getting gashed by the run. So you're on those plays a multitude of times. And you seem to be an issue right now. You seem to be an issue. When you dig into the numbers, it seems that he is an issue with this run stop. So I don't know what Milton Williams is going to become, and I don't know what Alim McNeil is going to become. But the arrow is pointing way higher, in my opinion, for Alim McNeil right now than it is for Milton Williams. And like I said, Milton Williams has a whole bunch of time to make it up, and I think that Tracy Rocker has to kind of, really start putting him in positions to really make plays, utilize this athleticism we keep on hearing about. But Alim McNeil, man, from what I'm seeing, and I'm going to talk to some Detroit Lions fans because I do kind of want to know. This is like going to burn in my head if I don't, fully investigate this. But from what I'm seeing and from what I'm hearing, they love him out there. I've heard everything from he's going to be there was a word, I don't even know what it is, but it basically meant that he was the leader of that defensive line already. And there was just so much gushing over this guy. And I don't get the same from Milton Williams. Milton Williams is decent. Milton Williams is decent, but we said it from the beginning. He was a stretch at that 3rd round spot. He was definitely a stretch at his spot. And it seems like, to end it like this, it seems like Tom was right. It seems like Tom was right, at least for now. So I think Tom, go up to Howie, smack the heck out of him. You were right, man. Everybody was telling you to calm down, but you knew what you was talking about, bro. You knew what you was talking about. I know a lot of people thought that he wanted something different, like a linebacker or a cornerback. This is the guy he wanted. Per Howie and per Tom Donahoe, this is the guy that they were fighting over to draft. Obviously, a lot of people picked Milton Williams, and Tom Donahoe, I think, was kind of the lone wolf when it came to Alim McNeil. But, it is what it is. I think that this is something that is very interesting. We keep on talking about Howie Roseman and this drafting and this front office and this drafting. We're coming into a season, or an off season, I should say. No matter what happens this year, we're most likely going to have at least 4 picks in the first 2 rounds. You have to make these count. And if you're making boneheaded decisions like this and not listening to your football minds, I'm not feeling very confident about this draft. But you guys let me know what you think, man. Would you go look up Alim McNeil? Go look up, Milton Williams. Please let me know your opinion on this. Tweet at me on @PhillyPhillyTP. Let me know what you're thinking. I want to know, because I really want to dissect this. I really want to dissect this. And I'm going to continue to keep my eye on this, because I feel like this is the detriment of our franchise. This is what we continuously do. We pick the wrong player. And I don't want to be negative, but this just came into my head, so I had to make this video. But like I said, you guys let me know in the comments, tweet at me, whatever you want to do. And let's talk about this, because I want to know if you would rather have Alim McNeil right now over Milton Williams. Because I'm not going to lie to you, man, I kind of do. If I'm being 100% honest, I kind of do. We could use a good run-stopping defensive tackle right now. We don't need a guy that should probably be a defensive end, but he's too fat. Maybe that's mean, but I really don't care. But other than that, man, y'all know what it is. Be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe. But y'all know, it's Fly Eagles Fly, and we are out here. Peace!
Everywhere, this is for you.
Fly Eagles flying on the team. Touchdown, time to get Jalen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a bird gang nation, baby. It's a Philly thing. Hater, and you looking like you type trash. I'm just here calling on Philly the podcast. And we can call a man dog, or watch Miles score off the handoff. Rest of the division, your man saw Jackson like Sean, hunting like Randolph.